smartphone, and then you put in a hashtag, and then you can actually vote for the startup, and you can also ask questions, which I will moderate here. So let's start with the startups. So the first one, Carla from Germany. Are you here? Okay, very welcome. Hello, thanks.
Hello there.
What's your name?
Philip.
Philip, hi, I'm Christian.
Hey, Christian.
Great to meet you. I'm looking forward to your pitch. You want to go over there to see if the technology works?
Sounds good.
You have a nice audience at the end of the day. They do look a little bit tired, but they all came here, so this must be a highlight at the end of the day for them. Thank you very much. So this technology works?
Seems like it, yes.
Okay, now checking with the audience here. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready for the first startup pitch. Thumbs up? Okay, look at that. All those thumbs up.
Excellent.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to count you down. You have a little timer here for 3 minutes, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to be very tough on time, right? Because if you can't say it in 3 minutes, it's going to be...
Fair enough.
You probably can't say it.
Ready
so,
for it.
3, 2, 1, go!
Every 4 weeks, the equivalent of New York City is added to the planet. At the same time, we have more than 100 million buildings in the EU alone that need to be renovated. Now, making smart design and investment decisions for all those new and existing buildings is crucial because cities play a double role. They are, on the one hand, the largest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions, and on the other hand, are greatly impacted by climate change themselves. We at Carla support making well-informed investment and design decisions by providing real-time feedback on the life cycle performance of buildings in the early planning phase. You all, the architects, the building owners, the project developers, and the portfolio managers, we have complex design investment decisions to make that impact the environmental and financial life cycle performance of your assets. The location, the geometry, the building materials, and the heating technology all need to be considered and optimized for in the early planning phase. However, this is not being done today as it is too complex for human beings to do so. The digital innovation Carla allows to provide feedback immediately on energy performance, CO2 emissions, and operational investment costs of the building in the early planning phase. Now, Carla, for new building designs, based on a simple 3D model, provides you immediate feedback on the energy demand, on the fulfillment of energy regulations, on the CO2 footprint, and the investment operational cost. And Carla, for existing buildings, identifies the ideal combination of renovation measures by comparing millions of different variants and calculating for each the energy, CO2, and operational cost savings to make sure that you're making the best investment decisions you can make. Now, digitalization is amazing, but not everything can be digitalized. This is why we coupled the Carla software with the Carla network of competency. So we can support projects across Germany with in-depth analysis, construction supervision, and certifications. Now, we've been doing projects across Germany from smart apartment buildings to large apartment complexes, both renovation projects and new building constructions. Now, climate change is real. Carbon tax is becoming a reality. So I ask you to let's work together to make climate neutral buildings become a reality as well. Thank you.
Woo! All right. That is a record of 2.5 minutes to address one of the biggest challenges we have, right? Because most of you guys realize that sustainability is one of the biggest challenges, and we've also learned that buildings play a huge role in the future of sustainability. So glad to see that you guys are on the way there, not just doing digital, but combining digital with sustainability. But I didn't quite understand, so you always require a 3D model? And if you don't have a 3D model, and how exact does it have to be, and how does it actually work?
Great question. So yes, it's always based on a simple 3D model. So it can be from SketchUp, it can be from Revit, it can be from anywhere. But yes, we need a simple 3D model because this just increases the accuracy of the results. But so for example, with SketchUp, we can, for existing buildings in a few hours, just create the geometry, and based on that, we can already run our analysis.
That's enough? A very simple model within a few hours?
Because it all contains all the information from an energy perspective that we need to run our analysis.
Okay. Impressive, impressive. Actually, you're seeing here the voting, by the way, and I wanted to invite you guys to vote. You can also ask questions. So if you just go to the website, slido.com, you put in the hashtag BUILTWORLD, then you can ask questions, you can vote, and we'll see it here on the screen. And it's very important here to rate the startup. So what do you guys think? Sustainability, what do you think of the Kala solution?
Again, a couple questions, because I've seen a few startups getting started in this field. So my question to you would be, what is your target market, and like, what's your go-to-market strategy for that?
Yeah, so initially we've been really focused on architects. As users, now what we do is focus on supporting project developers and asset manager directly, but usually still for the software, for at least new construction, the architects are the user. For existing buildings, through our network of energy consultants, we can provide that service.
I meant also geographically.
Okay, sorry.
Because you have US competitors, you have French competitors that I know of.
Yeah. So far we're really focused on the German market. We're currently looking into Netherlands and Denmark. What we do is we always take the local regulations in consideration. So in Germany, for example, the NF. So with Kala, you already get a feedback. Will you fulfill those regulations as well?
Thank you.
What do you think? Get some sound here? Thank you. Go ahead, try again. Yes, now.
Hello. So what's the right time for you to be hired, and who's gonna pay for your services?
Yeah, so ideally as early as possible. The first time an architect is considering the geometry, the orientation, all those things, this is when we want to be in the game. This is when we want to provide the architect immediate feedback. It's a software as a service solution, so the architect can just get it through a subscription model. If then later on you still need like detailed analysis, you need all the certification, we come on board as well, but the software should be in the early planning phase.
You guys can also ask questions, right? If you go on slido.com, put in #BuiltWorld, you will be able to ask the startup some questions as well.
Where are you now in the process of developing the company or the technology? Are you just started? Are you looking for investors? Are you going to scale it up, or what's your plan?
Great question. Yes, so we do look for investors.
Here at the show?
Always.
Always look for investors, okay.
So, no, we've developed the software, it's ready, we've been testing it since May last year, so it is being used in a couple of different projects, happy to show them as well, or I think you saw them on one of the slides. So the software is ready for the German market at least, we are running projects, we're making revenue, but still of course there are a lot of new functionalities we want to add to the software, but it's ready. I hope that a lot of you will use it in the near future.
Okay, everyone, please vote now for Kala in Slido. You guys also use your tablets to vote. I thank you very much for coming here. I think it's a great story of sustainability. I hope you find some interesting customers here. By the way, all those startups are presenting here at the booth. Maybe you'll even find investors if you position it right and have a good story to tell. Thank you very much from Philip. A big hand. Woo!
Thank you.
I will take this and put it here for the next one. And we're moving right along. We have the second startup, which is coming from Norway, called Dimension 10. Yes, please come. What's your name? Alex, very warm welcome to you. Did you just arrive today from Norway? This morning. You didn't want to come yesterday for Oktoberfest?
I wish I had. Wish I had, but maybe we can do some Oktoberfests tonight.
Tonight, okay. We'll extend it a little bit. We have a microphone prepared for you and your presentation. Maybe you can get set up to see if it works. You have 3 minutes time here. It'll be a hard cut, so you can be fast. The speaker before you was 2.5 minutes. I want to check again. Julia, are you ready? Voting is done. Everyone, voting is done. Thumbs up. Are you ready for the next one? Okay. 3, 2, 1 for Dimension 10. Go.
Thank you. So I'm Alex from Dimension 10, and we do visualization and collaboration using virtual reality. And I'll tell you now why we do this. In the AEC industry, there are 3 main challenges. The third one here was just mentioned, sustainability, a very important aspect of what's going on now. The second one, it's a fairly new one, but there is a lot of 3D models out there. However, or BIM models, however, they are viewed on 2D screens all the time. But maybe the biggest challenge is misunderstandings and rebuild costs. Like the numbers here are staggering, like 538 billion. It's almost embarrassing to say, but it's so big numbers. But what can we do about this? 2 things are happening now that will revolutionize this. One thing is that the third computing platform is coming. Virtual reality. a technology that lets you immerse into the environment. And also 3D models are coming. Instead of blueprints, all projects now have BIM models or 3D models. And what we do is combining them. So we literally let every project, an architect, a real estate developer, or a construction company, drag and drop their 3D models into our software and experience them as they were built in real life. So they can literally walk around in the models as they were built in real life. And what does that mean to our customers? It means that they increase common understanding. It's fewer misunderstandings, literally, because they feel like they are there together. So they don't misunderstand each other. They improve decision making. Our customers say that the input they get from their customers again is so much more accurate once you can be immersed into the building. Like literally being inside the 3D model allows a non-technical customer to literally point and say, that wall shouldn't be there. So the impact is immediate. And thirdly, mistakes are identified earlier. So you're able to take out the errors from the 3D models early in the planning and not while in production. So AF-gruppen, another customer of ours, they saved 100,000 euros on one meeting because they identified 6 errors in one model in one meeting. And those customers are only some few of our customers. We have 35 customers, and we are very eager to grow further into these customers and outside Scandinavia. Thank you.
Okay, big hand of applause for Alex. From Dimension 10. Thanks for sharing your story. 35 customers, maybe there's some more here.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. So tell me, I know the third dimension, of course. I know the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension. So what's the 10th dimension?
It's quantum physics, and but we're playing a bit with the name, right? Because we're adding add one dimension.
It's marketecture.
It's marketecture. Yes.
Marketecture. Okay, good name, but it's easy to remember. Good. So, so this space kind of feels like we've seen it before a little bit, right? So 5 years ago, I did a joint venture with Nemetschek on a BIM platform. We had some virtual reality. I think in every show you see more headsets coming. People are talking about 3D models. So what's different now? And what do you do different than all those others that have been working on this for years now?
So 2 things are very important. One, BIM models are becoming more and more standard, and VR headsets are off-the-shelf hardware. And the hardware is getting better and better, so the threshold of using this is getting lower and lower, and it will just continue. And what we do is literally drag and drop 3D models into our software. So you can do it, I can do it, like every non-technical person can do it. So we're so concerned of lowering the barrier so that it's easy to do.
Okay, so can people just bring a 3D model to your booth and you'll have a headset for them and you drag and drop it in there and they can see it and you can help explain it? Okay.
And they can do, and we actually have a live demo with our Oslo office from our stand.
Okay.
So that they literally put on their VR headset and meet one of our colleagues that are in Oslo virtually inside the 3D model.
So Jury, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these before. So what are your challenging questions now for Alex?
Actually, so I have 2 questions. The first one is, how do you avoid that one of the big software developers just take over your ideas and just put that into the packages? And the second one, right now it feels like it's very representative. Is there also something where you can directly in the 3D environment engage and work and correct the mistakes? Because right now on the screen, but you're actively just adjusting, but sometimes in these environments that's difficult.
Yeah, and
yes.
the $10,000 saving in the meeting, you know, that doesn't just become from looking at it, but you have to act on it, right? So what's your answer to that?
So 2 questions, yeah. One, obviously, there's a lot of time going into developing this. It's kind of a build versus buy question. We do VR, that's what we do. Others that want to copy that needs to focus solely on that. So we feel like we have a pretty strong advantage there. When it comes to extracting value from the VR meetings, we are integrating with other BIM softwares, such as Solibri or BIMsync, so that you easily can take your annotations from inside the virtual meeting that you do speech to text or paint, and extract them as a BCF format, so that you can take them and put the annotations on regular 3D models in any other 3D modeling software you have.
So you support BCF, BIM
Yes.
collaboration formats,
Yes.
to be interoperable, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, I saw you had quite a bit of customers back in Norway, and this technology it's hardly like science fiction in a way. You walk inside, the goggles on, and it's VR. Is it really scalable if you want to go and push forward and go and kind of take the European market or the rest of the world? Because it needs the builder and the developer, people that uses it, and the architects. They also they need knowledge to use it. Isn't that difficult?
Yes. So yeah, it's a big challenge. The infrastructure around hardware. It is a big challenge. A lot of the customers we sell to, they buy VR equipment for the first time. So we're a software company, but we all often find ourselves selling VR equipment. But like we've been going on about this for some years, and we see the development. More and more customers are getting VR equipment. And just 2 weeks ago, Mark Zuckerberg were on stage on the Oculus Connect saying
a big fan.
he's a big fan, and they're pouring billions into making the headsets lighter, better, less invasive, so that the process and the development is there all the time. So it's really just about grit and staying in there, because there's no doubt that long term this will be personal equipment and in many cases replace computer screens. But until we are there, it's just about the training and making it as easy as possible. So we do a lot of trainings with our customers, and we focus so much on intuitive design in our software, so it's going to be easy to use.
So in the startup space, there's this tipping point, right? So things are very slow for a long time, and then all of a sudden they start to take off, right? And the right products are there, the customers are there, the value is clear. So when do you think that tipping point is going to be for VR solutions like you have? When do you think that magic moment comes when it's just going to go through the roof?
So
We're all waiting for it.
Yeah, like Norway and Finland, I think, are the two countries that are using BIM the most. And BIM obviously evolves around 3D models. And there is just no doubt that experiencing the 3D models are better than viewing them. So like experiencing them with VR. And we see that in Norway we have a lot of customers, and we have a very clear like go-to-market strategy that we can copy in Scandinavia. And like you're talking about the inflection point, it comes with the training. So the customers that have been with us for the longest are the ones using our software the most and are getting the most value from it. So what we do, we focus so much now on collecting use cases, and instead of nice quotes, we have quantifying the values of it.
Yeah.
And to answer your questions, between 1 and 2 years, we see a big inflection point, but the involvement is just going so rapidly.
Guillaume, you have a lot of international experience. What do you think?
Just a quick question for me, and it's more like a comment, but I'd like you to change my mind. I feel like this is almost a done deal, and like Autodesk is going to roll in and just be like, all right, doing exactly what you said. You know, your answer for differentiation was the market is ready, essentially. Like, how do you position yourself against an actor like Autodesk, or are you just in like a, I'm going to get bought out approach and like have enough clients, which is fine.
And I'm going to make
this
question even harder. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to answer it.
So we have been doing VR for 10 years. We know so much about the technology. We see that other players have been trying to get into VR, but we see that the experience they design is not as good. So we see our customers try other solutions and get back to us because it's so intuitive.
So that's simply really better, to put it to the point. Thank you very much, Alex. Big round of applause for Dimension 10. Start from 2, put it back there, and we will move right along and look at the third startups. We've prepared 5 startups for you, so as you can see, lots of dynamics. And the next one, you all know how to measure, but you don't know how to measure. I think I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but he's from the UK, and he's going to tell us, what is your name?
Alan.
Alan, welcome here to the stage. You have a nice audience, even at the end of the day. It's packed, right? So
It is, yeah.
are you, everything working for you? Are you ready?
Tell you.
You have 3 minutes, right? There's a little clock there, and I'm going to be very hard on timing, so give it your best. Okay?
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hi, I'm Alan. I'm the founder of Moja. We've developed a revolutionary motion-based measuring technology that enables property professionals to save time when measuring up. Please meet Moja. So, Moja doesn't rely on GPS or lasers. Instead, it uses only motion sensors to measure its own movement in 3 dimensions. Moja 1 has over 20 different measuring modes to measure length, height, level, angle, gradient, area, and more. And as you just saw, it can measure both regular and irregular shapes. Moja 3D is a subscription enhancement that allows simultaneous measuring and drawing. This enables people in the field to measure up in a fraction of the time with less errors, significantly increasing the number of jobs per day they complete. Moja will save users time across multiple industries, from property appraisers capturing whole property outlines to landscapers, and from estate agents to kitchen designers. And our API is already beginning to be integrated into floor plan sketching and industry-specific software apps. Longer term, as our price point reduces, we see Moja being used by contractors in all fields, and as well as DIYers. We have an experienced leadership team with a successful track record of bringing innovative products like this to market. Personally, I built a business that introduced onboard electronics into worldwide motorsport. And between us, we have multiple experiences of scaling and exiting businesses. Hopefully, I've been able to convey how Moja will transform the way people measure up in the future. But this is just a glimpse of its potential. There's plenty more to come. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for Moja. Big hand of applause. So tell me, there's no cloud, there's no data play, there's no AI, it's just a sensor in the app, and it does everything for you. Is that what it is? Did I get it right?
You did get it right. It's just the motion sensors in this device. So we have accelerometers, gyros, and magnetometers. And as you move the device, it measures how you're moving it. So it knows exactly what you're doing right now.
So how is it different than my smartphone? Because I thought it has all those sensors and gyrometers and all those.
Exactly, and in fact, if you want to download our app from the website, you can use the sensors in your smartphone to do simple measurements like length or height difference. But the sensors in the smartphone they're built to a price, put it bluntly. They're not as accurate. So the accuracy using a smartphone is 2 to 3% plus or minus. With our tool, with a much higher accuracy motion sensors, the accuracy is 0.5%.
That's good. Impressive, very impressive. Okay. And how many users do you have today? How many people are using Moja?
We have
how long
over,
have you been on market? And is it only small? Who's the typical user now?
Lots of questions there. So,
yes.
So we have about 600,000 downloads of the app to date. We have over 4,000 Moja 1s being used. And I can't really say we have typical users, but we have certain verticals where it's been more popular, like architects, landscapers, let's say estate agents, but individual agents. There is a lot of property people are wanting to draw floor plans with it, but you really need the floor plan sketching app, and then the Mosher tool is a measuring tool for that app. So we're, as I said already, we're already working with some floor plan sketching software developers to integrate Mosher into their software.
What do you guys think? How would you challenge it?
Yeah, I'm super interested about the accuracy, or about how, what's the percentage point it can go down in terms of centimeters and millimeters. Because, of course, when you do buildings and renovations, also liability on the data is, of course, crucial.
Absolutely, yeah. And this is it's a new technology, and at the moment we can achieve 0.5%. So that's 5 millimeters in a meter. So we don't recommend, if you're going to be cutting timber or you're going to be drilling holes, that you use it, which is why we're not aiming it at the construction industry at the moment. The technology is going to improve and reduce in cost, and I can see that contractors will be using it. 2 or 3 generations from now, you will use it when you're cutting or drilling. And one day, Mosher will be in every home, because everybody would have one. The only thing that's holding it back is its accuracy. So we're focusing on verticals where 0.5% accuracy is more than sufficient. For example, if you're quoting for a job, you're measuring up, it's about the time it takes to measure up. That's all cost for you on a job you may not get. Once you've got the job, you maybe need to survey it in more detail, for a kitchen fitter, for example. But if you're only getting 30% of the jobs you quote, you want to measure up quickly in the quoting process.
I don't think you can wait 2 or 3 generations before you kind of reach the full potential in the market. You have to go faster than that. But I think the product is really good. I don't think it's a product that will revolutionize our industry or change our industry. It's more a product that goes to the consumer. So I think the consumer market is there. Because everybody likes to have tools, and people buy a lot of different kind of gadgets that we have. This is one of them. So I think the consumer market might be there, but not the business market in our industry. I think that's my opinion.
What is your response to that?
Well, it's interesting because I understand what you're saying. Our experience has been the other way around, because we started aiming it at the consumer market, and we found the business market has come to us. So we're actually, right now, whereas we had a crowdfunding, a Kickstarter and Indigo crowdfunding campaign, which brings out the consumers, of the early adopters. But what we found is that the PropTech business community have come to us, and it's for niche applications rather than the mass construction applications. But those niche applications are very large, actually. When you work out there are hundreds of thousands of appraisers, mortgage appraisers in the US, for example, who all have to draw floor plans of properties to appraise them. But so it's niche within the PropTech market, I would say.
One more questions, please do vote, everyone. One more question from Guillaume.
Yeah, I guess I'll have another defensibility question. That will be the theme of the day. But how do you, when you see the evolution of just smartphones and depth sensors are being added and the cameras getting just more and more advanced, and the sensors being integrated being more and more advanced, how much time do you think you have until that's just in the iPhone?
Is it 3 cameras?
Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Is it 3?
I think
it doesn't sound like it's 5. That's my point.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's somewhere between 5 and 10 years. The point is that the technology that the smartphone manufacturers can afford to put in the phone is limited because of price. We can afford to put more money and cost into a dedicated unit that's being used. So I think it'll be 5 to 10 years before smartphones can generate the same accuracy as a dedicated motion-based measuring product.
A big round of applause for Alain.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's get the sensor back. You don't want to steal his sensor, right? You guys can go to his booth and test it out and check it out. Thank you very much. And we'll ask the next startup to come up, which is Molteo from Germany. as he's coming up, I do want to let you know that if you put your business card in one of those boxes back there, we will send you all those presentations, right? So you get all the pitch presentations of the startups here, right? To inspire you or to show your teams how you can do a great presentation in 3 minutes, right? That's a special skill, right? Hi, Christian. Jonas, have a... If you make yourself feel comfortable, you have a microphone and a clicker, I hope. You'll have 3 minutes and not more than that. Are you set up?
Yep.
Are you nervous?
A little.
A little? Okay, that's always
It's
a good
part
sign.
of the game,
Okay.
I guess.
All right. Okay, audience. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, my name is Jonas, and I'm the founder and CEO of Maltea. And we built a digital workspace for the construction industry. So, many of you here in the audience have probably seen a picture like that from above. So, it's the classical construction site. You have workers being around, but we think this actually shows a very big issue. So, it's very hard in construction right now to gather real-time data. And that is actually funny because a lot of data points on these construction sites are created, but only a very few of them are actually being captured in real time. For example, if you deep dive a little bit into this picture, you suddenly see a worker who has concrete, steelwork, and welding competences. You have a particular piece of machinery that has run for a couple hours. You have a floor section that took some workers some time to get it done. You have a critical path delay because of a spacing issue, something like that. And all these details matter in order to reduce delays and also to improve estimates on the next project that is very similar. We think, therefore, that the industry has to go through a 3-step process. So, step 1 is the capturing phase. That is where we are right now, and we think we are pretty good at that. So then after that, it's incredibly important that you move into analyzing and visualizing this data in order to enable conclusive decision making. And then, in the end, as soon as this progresses, you are able to take on recommendations that make it easier for you to make conclusive decisions, based on AI, for example. As our customers enter more data into our systems and gather more data points, we can enable a lot of different opportunities that, of course, will transform the way you can make decisions and also reduce the overall risk of your construction projects. This sounds all very fluffy, but I would like to show you that at our booth. So I encourage you strongly to visit us at 04.4, I guess, in the Tech Alley. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Big round of applause for Jonas. It looked a little bit like a game, right? So if you have this plan and you see like we have all your supplies and the people doing it, so is it like it's like a game that people play? Are you inspired by that? Is that something you're looking at?
I would say it's part of it. So we believe that good data comes from encouraged people, especially when it comes to quality. So that's why we also work strongly with mechanisms like gamification, reward systems and stuff like that in order to get the workers to actually enter quality data and not just data.
How far are you in your solution? So how many, do people use it in real projects now? Do you support real projects? How many? Tell us a little bit about the maturity of your solution.
Yeah, so we have around 200 customers in the German-speaking market, so DACH region. And yeah, we have people actively using it in everything between 30 employees up to, I think our biggest is around 2,000. And I think the uniqueness about our product is that it seamlessly goes into existing IT infrastructure. So we integrate with existing solutions and we also output to existing solutions.
What do you guys think, constructing like that? What are your questions?
Well, since I'm an architect, it all sounds awesome.
I guess so, yeah.
But the question is also, how do I get access to the data? Because, of course, this is going to be more with a contractor as optimizing. But if I know more about it, it would also help me in my planning efforts. So how are you going to do that I know about it?
Yeah, so what we do already is, for example, integrate with Revit models. That's why we basically started with one of our prime customers. So we feed back that information to the part of the model that the worker actually worked on. So by importing basically the positions and stuff like that.
So since I'm on the construction side, I'm an old fart, though I'm young. I see a lot of solutions that say, okay, it's a mess on the job site, and all we need is like a collaborative platform so that people can input their stuff, and everything's gonna go between like HR reading into it and like backcasting to like the architect, and it's gonna be awesome. And there's huge pushback on that in the construction industry that I've seen. Because it sounds like you're taking away a core part of what we're doing. And that's like, some people live it that way, some people don't. My main point being, the companies that I see being like taking a successful approach to this, focus on one very specific vertical in your vision slide. They'll do one thing and one thing only, build a product on that, and then they'll trick people on the job site to get more and more because they get addicted. And so if your pitch is, I'm going to do everything, I don't believe you. If your pitch is, I'm going to optimize, materials going in, I'll say, well, you have 3 competitors and you should be better than them. So it's super crowded and it has to be verticalized, and I don't see answers in your presentation on those 2 points. So that would be, can you have?
Give us more insights.
Of course, I can give you more insights. So,
typical question, right?
Yeah.
Focus.
I actually predicted something in that direction, obvious. And then I would say, the thing that I displayed, especially in the end, is pretty much where we would get. So where we are right now is basically we developed a lot of capturing solutions, being on smartphones, tablets, whatever, because there is no uniform way to gather all this information. So as the industry progresses, I totally agree with you. There are lots of different players that feed information into this model. So we focus primarily on the platform part, collecting that information. We force none of our customers to use our solutions, but we integrate with a lot of GPS trackers, timestamp systems like with RFID, stuff like that. So we are on the platform part, so we want to become really good at making informed recommendations to support you in your business and not replace it. I hope that answers your question.
To answer that one. Any more examples of how you collect the data points?
Yeah, it's kind of part of the answer. One being entering values, for example, working hours, material consumption, tasks, machinery usage by hand into an app, being on tablet or smartphone. Alternatively, you can use something, for example, track unit is one we integrate with, which is a GPS tracker that's generic that you can place in your digging machines or other heavier machinery. Alternatively, systems that are already out there, RFID systems for like saws and drills and stuff like that.
Okay, time is up. Thank you very much to Jonas from Morteo. Big round of applause. Woo. And we have one more startup, Voxelgrid from Germany, or Voxelgrid, I don't know, we'll see. You'll explain it to us. So one more startup, and then you guys complete your voting, and we will have one winner to win the category of plan and build. So one more round of focus attention. Do you have everything you need? The microphone and clicker and all set up? You want to try? Okay. What is your name? Christian, okay, great. Same name, it's a good name. Easy to remember. Yeah, thanks Christian. Let us know when you're ready. Audience, one more. Thumbs up if you're ready. All right, you got their attention. 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go. Hi, I'm Christian from Voxelgrid. Like everyone in this age, we call it Christian. Are we here to solve a problem? Actually, everyone is talking about BIM and digitalization. And this works pretty well when you start to build a building, because you start with AutoCAD, so you have a digital approach. But we talk about the existing building stock. We talk about 95% of the worldwide building stock where there's nothing. And the reason they also want to digitalize, but the reason is it's simply too expensive to digitalize existing buildings. And that's our solution. So we come here to help to digitalize existing building stock. We all talk only about new buildings. That's wrong. 95% are important. So we offer something super boring, 2D floor plans and facade plans. Boom. But we can do this fast, simple, and super cheap. We are up to 10 times cheaper than the regular surveying engineer. How can we do this? With a very strong team. We started in 2016, And at the end of 2018, we were ready to leave the stealth mode with our own hard and software, where we received also the positive approval from the European Patent Office. So we have a patent for something that is digitalizing the existing building stocks 10 times, not 10%, 10 times cheaper than the regular architect. How do we do that? I think it's really important to know and to learn it's a combination of a lot of high tech we received the patent for. So start with LiDAR. We're going with our backpack solution through the building. We create a point cloud. We have our own software algorithms to automatically detect the walls and the openings. And then it's easy to create the 2D floor plans. We use for the first time hyperspectral cameras to scan the building. It's coming from military technology. And we created our libraries in the last 2 years. And nowadays we're even able to detect if it's wet or dry brick in a resolution of 2 by 2 centimeters. We use photogrammetry for the digital twin of the building. So we fly around with the drone, we have some smoothing algorithms, so we have ability to create a nice digital twin, and this we dump into deep learning. We trained the computer with 10,000 of photographs, so nowadays we're able to use our 3D model, then automatically we can give the window area with an accuracy of 98%. So please listen to me, we are not talking about deep learning, we do it. That's, I think, a big difference in the startup scene. And so we automatically create these plans, and we do this with one knob. 1 second, and the architect needs for the same facade 2 hours. So that's disruptive. Guess who's winning? And maybe you understand now why we can be so cheap. Because we use a lot of high tech for something super boring, super simple. It's cheap, 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 cheap. 2D floor plans and facade plans. That's our mission. That's What's the Grid. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What's the Grid? Looks like they don't only digitize cheap, they also fast, but they also talk fast. So you have all the buzzwords.
Yeah.
You have all the buzzwords, right? So you
It's
have,
cocaine.
So if I understood it correctly, you take a Google car, right, and you put it on your back, right, and then you walk around with some drones, and there's deep learning around. There's
Everything.
magic, and within a very short period of time, you have exactly what? What's the exact outcome that you will have?
A unicorn.
3D model. A unicorn.
No, actually, really the goal was to be fast and cheap. Because for me, the key point is really, we all talk about this BIM, but I really like the saying, a lighthouse is only working when it's dark around. And so, one BIM project is nothing. Let's look at the existing building stock and bring some light in there and help them to digitalize. And this is really my approach. We have to find an easy and fast way to digitalize and not only have one BIM project, but a large building stock digitalized. This is important.
So how does it work? So I go to your website and say I have a building, and then I fill out the address and the form, and then you just come with your magic? Or how does
No, we're lazy people.
You're lazy people.
We're looking for partners, and the partners are coming. They're using our hard and software as a service, so we rent them, and then we take the data back, we process it, we create the point clouds, and based if they have their own drawing departments, they can draw the plans based on the point cloud, or we have our Revit team in Romania that is creating also the 3D models if you want, but for the 2D plans we are more or less already automatic. But we need, as our biggest concurrent in the US says, a little human intervention.
Little human intervention.
And in Europe you say you need an architect.
How do you see the accuracy improving further, the audience is asking? Can you replace the pain of detailed measured surveys? Accuracy, lots of questions on accuracy.
Yeah.
It's an important topic. Yeah.
The last project we were an accuracy of less than 1 centimeter.
Okay.
So especially for the Revit models, for the 3D models, we have a really high accuracy. We create 50 gigabytes per hour. So it's a lot of points that are assumed. The pain of detailed measurement, yeah, it causes a lot of pain. That's why we have an automatic solution. So you take the backpack and you have to be fast. You enter the office, you turn around, and then you go out of the office and it's done. And I think that's really important when measuring office buildings. You have to be fast in order not to avoid problems with the employees. And
So Google car on your back. Interesting.
Yeah,
what
you
do
don't see what you
We've
measure.
seen a lot of solutions for 3D creating 3D models from existing buildings. What are your questions? What do you guys think?
Well, I think there's a lot of companies that work in this field, scanning buildings and scanning old buildings. What is it that makes your idea better, or how are you going to get into the market? Is it because you're trying to patent the technology, or is it just price?
Oh, we already have the positive approval.
You have a patent on the equipment
for the whole technology. So we, I think, but they don't care about the patent. It can be replaced. The important thing is this price. And I think two things. Important is the price. We really have to be cheaper, else we cannot compete in this market. And the second thing is we really strictly concentrate on existing buildings. And there's so many people around, especially in Expo, they're all project developers, all concentrating new buildings. And we really focus on the existing building stock. And in this niche, which is rather big, we live happily because all the others are only looking for BIM for new buildings.
So I'll respectfully disagree on the fact that your competitors are looking for new buildings. So you have really big competitors that are on existing buildings exclusively. And so my question is, beyond geographic dispersion, like I'm thinking of one called Helix that's out of the United States, right? And they're like growing into Europe. You have one thing that I've never seen out of any company in this field. It's and I don't know if I'm saying it right, but like the spectroscopy, like measurement, which I assume is part of what's patented. Is that what's giving you an edge over these other companies? Or it's not related?
Actually, we're the first to have a really functioning deep learning process to detect automatically window areas from facades and combine this with indoor measurements. Nabis, all the other startups in the field, they only concentrate on indoor, and when you ask Nabis to give you exact window areas, and there are sunshades or canopies in the room, they have nothing. So you have to combine inside and outside to get proper information about window areas per room. So this holistic approach that we are completely alone on the market, and especially as you mentioned this hyperspectral camera, there we are also completely alone, but we are able to automatically detect floor areas inside. You can send around completely stupid people. They only have to carry a backpack, and you automatically get the information about the future cleaning costs in the offices. And there we're completely alone.
A quick note to the audience, please do vote now. Also to the jury, please do vote now so we can have everything complete and we can get the results of actually who won. So a lot of self-confidence, so I think that's entrepreneurs need to have that. So I recommend you guys going to the booth with your building, right, and having him come by and do the really fast scan of the building, right? You win a new customer and you can improve, the quality of your solution. I think that's a great idea.
Please only come with existing buildings. I'm really sick of these project developers. Sorry, if you're all project developers, sorry for that. But we are concentrating on existing buildings.
Okay, there was another question from the audience, as the jury is getting things ready here, which is the indoors. When will you be able to do this on the mobile phone, right? And not have the big backpack with all your technology. When will all this technology and sensors integrate into the mobile phone, and you walk around and you can do that? When do you expect that to happen? Question from the audience.
Mobile phone will never have a laser scanner, and that you need for inside. The IMU and the tracking is not enough to scan all the areas of a building, so I think this will not happen in the next 10 years.
Not in the next 10 years, okay.
For sure not.
Yeah. Good, so any more questions from the jury?
I'm just curious if you see a world where you can also look inside and beyond the walls. And I want to give you a recommendation when you present in America, never say cheap. It's always economical.
We have the same saying in Europe, cheap it's preiswert, but I stay with cheap, I'm cheap. Actually we're doing a collaboration with RC in the autumn with a startup company from Singapore, and they claim to have a technology that can look through the wall. We will see that in a project in the Netherlands together with you, I think.
Okay, last round of applause for Christian from Boxergood. Thank you very much. All right, and here we have the highlight now. So we have listened to 5 startups here in the space of plan and build, which selected from 1,200 startup submissions. You've seen them all, you've seen their pitches, you voted on it. If you do want to get their pitches, put in your business card back there, and we'll send you these pitches. But I think now we're ready. Let me look over there to the technical room. Are we ready? Thumbs up? No, they're still calculating, so putting together all those numbers, right? Want more time from me, so it'll just take a few numbers. But what I do want to do is get all the startups on stage, so please come back, all the startups on stage. All right, here we are. And soon we are going to see who won. So it's votes from the jury plus your vote combined actually puts together the winner today. Looks very good. Jury, if you would stand up, because we're going to take some photos as well in just a second. And who's going to give the prize? Let's see, Jonas or Wolfgang, are you around? With the famous award. You have the award ready? No award, he's going to come. It's probably hidden behind. Are you guys ready back there to display the information? Thumbs up, okay. Here we go. Woo! And the winner is, it's very tight, it's Dimension 10! Woo! Congratulations! All right. Thank you very much. It was very close. We've never been this close, I think, so thanks a lot. Congratulations. We'll take a photo of you guys, and we do need to get the award, which I hope is coming soon. Thank you very much for your attention. Do look at those solutions and come back tomorrow at around noon for another startup battlefield session. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day, great evening in Munich. And here you come for the picture. Could you guys join us, please? We have the photographer here. Thumbs up, okay. Woo. Thank you. Thanks, all the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. I was gonna give it.